A singing bird box is a tiny mechanical theatre. Wind the spring and a feathered bird springs up from under a lid, turns its head, flutters and trills a song through a miniature bellows, then drops back out of sight. The Swiss perfected these in Geneva 200 years ago, and the very best were built for export to wealthy foreign courts.
Marvellous.
How long have you had him for?
I've had him for about 20 years.
Has he always behaved quite well?
No, well, it wasn't in very good condition when I first had it, and it's been repaired and a bit refurbished. And then, the last time I used it, I wound it up and broke the spring. So
there he
we had to have the new spring put in locally, which was very good.
Oh, well, that seems to have done it very beautifully,
yes.
I must say. I mean, it's undoubtedly Swiss, and
yes.
this rather sort of florid palette for the enamelling is a...
The vivid enamel is a clue in itself. Colours this bright were chosen to catch the eye of buyers in the Ottoman world and across Asia, where bold decoration sold. That one of these still plays after 2 centuries is a small miracle. The movement inside is as fine and as fragile as a pocket watch.
The local chap valued it at about £4,000 a couple of years ago, but that's about all really. Yes.
I think £4,000 is quite enough. I mean, it's a right value. I would go along with that. Sometimes they can be very much more valuable when they're gold, and sometimes they're gem set. And if they're made for the Pasha of Egypt, they might be bigger and much more exciting. This is a very, very good example of a Swiss singing bird box. What a joy, honestly, you are lucky.
Is it a Dorset piece? I don't know. I don't know that much about it.
Right. But looking at the whole shape of it, it's a Welsh dresser,
Yes.
basically. But what's interesting, this idea of the 3 drawers with the arch in the middle is more typically from the Brecon area.
Oh, right.
And what confirms it to me is the fact, have you noticed that this shelf is much wider than this one or the one below it?
Yes.
Do you know why that is?
Because bigger plates would have gone here, meat dishes.
The dresser was the proudest piece of furniture in a country house, half storage, half stage, built to show off a family's best plates and pewter to every visitor who walked in. And regional styles work almost like dialects. The choices are maker-made in the cornice, and the drawers can pin a piece to one particular valley. Look at how the shelves are spaced. They were sized for the dishes a household actually owned, a deeper board for the great meat platter, shallower ones above for everyday plates. That kind of working detail, far more than any label, is what lets an expert place a piece like this to its corner of the country.
It's 4,000. Well, I was going to say that it would make £2,500 to £3,500 at auction. I think it's a fair market price, and I think if it can be well restored, I mean, I think I'd have put £4,000 to £4,500 for insurance. So I think you're already beginning to recoup the payment you've made. And I think if you have it nicely restored by a good restorer, it's going to go up really quite quickly. It's a good buy, and I'm really, really excited to see it.
You've watched hundreds of these moments. The ordinary object. The jaw-dropping value. But here's the question we never ask: what's sitting in your home? You don't have to wait for the roadshow to come to your town. In seconds, Velco tells you what it is, when it was made, and what it could be worth. It's like having the roadshow in your pocket. Open the App Store and search Velco. VELQO. Or point your phone at the screen. You might be sitting on a fortune.
I realised it must have done. I couldn't believe you'd spotted it so quickly.
Well, the reason is that it's made of Hollywood, and it's a type of wood much favoured by a very famous Russian jeweller. Have you any idea who made this charming little brooch?
Well, when we first found it among my mother's effects, my daughter was looking at it and she said, "That's Russian, I'm sure it says Fabergé." And I thought, I can't believe that, because I've no idea where it could have come from in our family.
No. And she was absolutely bang on, because in the lid satin, and satin it is.
The House of Faberge was jeweller to the Russian imperial court. Karl Faberge's workshops in St. Petersburg are famous now for the Tsar's jeweled Easter eggs, but they also turned out thousands of tiny, exquisite trinkets for an aristocracy with almost limitless money to spend. A brooch like this is a fragment of that vanished world.
It says Odessa here. That branch didn't open until 1903. It's rather like an archaeological site. There's lots of sort of pools on it, tiny, tiny brooch, and you think, well, what's all the fuss about? This is, of course, a heart on a bar, and it probably meant love on some level or another. It's a most lovely, lovely find. I find it very touching, actually. This is a souvenir of Russia that's long gone by. when it was bought, it wouldn't have been a cheap object in any way. Having said that, it's worth next.
The pale, close-grained holly the case is cut from was a favourite of Fabergé's craftsmen. After the revolution of 1917, the firm was seized and shut down, and its founder fled abroad, which is why a survivor like this feels less like jewellery than a keepsake of a country that no longer exists.
Something like 30 or 40 pounds. Today, I think it might be worth £8,000.
And it's ended up with us.
It's actually Japanese, and it's the class of ware which is popularly called Satsuma, which is a high-fired earthenware with a crackled glaze, and the crazing on it is actually part of it. It's not a defect. It developed really in response to Japan opening up to the West, which it did in 1853-54.
Satsuma earthenware became Japan's calling card to the world. At the great international fairs of the 1870s, Vienna, Philadelphia, Paris, Western buyers fell hard for its ivory crackle and its dense, gilded miniature painting. And the workshop everyone wanted was Kinkozan of Kyoto.
Here, it's with very slight wear, it's still in pristine condition. The nice thing about this one is that some of the panels are actually signed by the painter, and you've got at least two painters on this piece. And this one is one I can read. It says Oshizan. It's, I think, a remarkable find. I mean, it's as good as a piece of Satsuma as I've ever seen on the road.
The Kinkozan name ran through 7 generations of potters. The Meiji-era studio kept a stable of specialist painters on hand, which is why one vase can carry more than a single artist's signature. Satsuma, that names its decorators, not just its kill, sits right at the top of the collecting market.
I'll put it in a glass cabinet when I get home.
Put it in a glass cabinet when you get home, because it's worth £8,000 to £10,000.
Blimey.
Before you go, a quick word that could save you from a costly mistake. Every week, treasures like the ones you just watched are sold at car boot and yard sales for pennies by people who simply didn't know what they had. Don't let that be you. With Velcro, just snap a photo of anything in your home, and in seconds you'll know what it really is and what it's really worth. And it's completely free. Point your phone's camera at the code on screen now, or search the App Store for Velcro, the V-E-L-Q-O-N-O before you let it go.